قرة عين الرسول يا سيدتنا ومولاتنا، إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله، وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيهة عند الله، اشفعي لنا عند الله. يا مولانا يا أبا محمد يا حسن بن علي أيها المجتبى يا ابن رسول الله، يا حجة الله على خلقه، يا سيدنا ومولانا، إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله، وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله، اشفع لنا عند الله. يا مولانا يا أبا عبد الله يا حسين بن علي أيها الشهيد يا ابن رسول الله، يا حجة الله على خلقه، يا سيدنا ومولانا، إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله، وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله، اشفع لنا عند الله. يا مولانا يا أبا الحسن يا علي بن الحسين يا زين العابدين يا ابن رسول الله، يا حجة الله على خلقه، يا سيدنا ومولانا، إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله، وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله، اشفع لنا عند الله. يا مولانا يا أبا جعفر يا محمد بن علي أيها الباقر يا ابن رسول الله، يا حجة الله على خلقه، يا سيدنا ومولانا، إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله، وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله، اشفع لنا عند الله. يا مولانا يا أبا عبد الله يا جعفر بن محمد أيها الصادق يا ابن رسول الله، يا حجة الله على خلقه، يا سيدنا ومولانا، إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله، وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله، اشفع له عند الله. يا مولانا يا أبا الحسن، يا موسى بن جعفر أيها الكاظم، يا ابن رسول الله، يا حجة الله على خلقه، يا سيدنا ومولانا. إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله، وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا، يا وجيها عند الله، اشفع لنا عند الله. يا مولانا يا أبا الحسن، يا علي بن موسى أيها الرضا، يا ابن رسول الله، يا حجة الله على خلقه، يا سيدنا ومولانا. إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله، وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا، يا وجيها عند الله، اشفع لنا عند الله. يا مولانا يا أبا جعفر، يا محمد بن علي أيها التقي الجواد، يا ابن رسول الله، يا حجة الله على خلقه، يا سيدنا ومولانا. إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله، وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا، يا وجيها عند الله، اشفع لنا عند الله. يا مولانا يا أبا الحسن، يا علي بن محمد أيها الحادي النقي، يا ابن رسول الله، يا حجة الله على خلقه، يا سيدنا ومولانا. إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله، وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا، يا وجيها عند الله، اشفع لنا عند الله. يا مولانا يا أبا محمد، يا حسن بن علي أيها الزكي الأسكري، يا ابن رسول الله، يا حجة الله على خلقه، يا سيدنا ومولانا. إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله، وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا، يا وجيها عند الله، اشفع لنا عند الله. يا وسي الحسن والخلف الحجة، أيها القائم المنتظر المهدي يا ابن رسول الله، يا حجة الله على خلقه، يا سيدنا ومولانا، إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله، وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا، يا وجيها عند الله، اشفع لنا عند الله. يا سادتي ومواليا، إني توجهت بكم أئمتي وعدتي ليوم فقري وهاجتي إلى الله، وتوسلت بكم إلى الله، واستشفعت بكم إلى الله، فاشفعوا لي عند الله، واستنقذوني من ذنوبي عند الله، فإنكم وسيلتي إلى الله، وبحبكم وبقربكم أرجو نجاة من الله، فكونوا عند الله رجائي، يا سادتي يا أولياء الله، صلى الله عليهم أجمعين، ولعن الله أعداء الله ظالميهم من الأولين والآخرين، آمين رب العالمين.
صلوات. خون ہم بہاتے ہیں، خون ہم بہاتے ہیں، زخم ہم سجاتے ہیں، یہ سلیقے ماتم کے اور کس کو آتے ہیں، روز برپا ہوتی ہے مجلس زمانے میں، روز برپا ہوتی ہے مجلس زمانے میں، ہم تو باغ جنت میں روز آتے جاتے ہیں، ہم تو باغ جنت میں روز آتے جاتے ہیں، خون ہم بہاتے ہیں، زخم ہم سجاتے ہیں، جا کے دیکھ لے دنیا آج بھی جلوسوں میں، جا کے دیکھ لے دنیا آج بھی جلوسوں میں، ان کے سر نہیں جھکتے جو علم اٹھاتے ہیں، ان کے سر نہیں جھکتے جو علم اٹھاتے ہیں، خون ہم بہاتے ہیں، زخم ہم سجاتے ہیں، آپ کو بھی مل جائے دین کا عالم، لیکن آپ کو بھی مل جائے دین کا عالم، لیکن آپ کا بھروسہ کیا، آپ بھاگ جاتے ہیں، آپ کا بھروسہ کیا، آپ بھاگ جاتے ہیں، خون ہم بہاتے ہیں، زخم ہم سجاتے ہیں، جائے چاند پر ہم کیوں، ہم تو ان کے نوکر ہیں، جائے چاند پر ہم کیوں، ہم تو ان کے نوکر ہیں، چاند تارے خود جن کے در پہ آتے جاتے ہیں، چاند تارے خود جن کے در پہ آتے جاتے ہیں، خون ہم بہاتے ہیں، زخم ہم سجاتے ہیں، تم اگر کرو ماتم تم بھی سیکھ جاؤ گے، تم اگر کرو ماتم تم بھی سیکھ جاؤ گے، بخششوں کا دروازہ کیسے کھٹکھٹاتے ہیں، بخششوں کا دروازہ کیسے کھٹکھٹاتے ہیں، خون ہم بہاتے ہیں، زخم ہم سجاتے ہیں، ان کے سامنے سورج ایک دیا سے لگتا ہے، ان کے سامنے سورج ایک دیا سے لگتا ہے، نقش ماتم شاہ کی ایسے جگمگاتے ہیں، نقش ماتم شاہ کے ایسے جگمگاتے ہیں، خون ہم بہاتے ہیں، زخم ہم سجاتے ہیں، یہ سلیق ماتم کے اور کس کو آتے ہیں، روز برپا ہوتی ہیں مجلس زمانے میں، روز برپا ہوتی ہیں مجلس زمانے میں، ہم تو باغ جنت میں روز آتے جاتے ہیں، خون ہم بہاتے ہیں، زخم ہم سجاتے ہیں، صلوات۔ اللہم صلی علی محمد. برائے بلند صلوات. صلی علی محمد آج قبر مصطفیٰ پر ایک ہجوم عام ہے. آج قبر مصطفیٰ پر ایک ہجوم عام ہے. آ گئی زینب مدینے میں بپا کوہرام ہے. آج قبر مصطفیٰ پر ایک ہجوم عام ہے. نامبر کو لاش بیٹے کی دکھا کر بولے شاہ. نامبر کو لاش بیٹے کی دکھا کر بولے شاہ. یہ ہے سگرا کی تمنا اس کا اکبر نام ہے. آج قبر مصطفیٰ پر ایک ہجوم عام ہے. بیریدہ زینب ہے سورج آج کیوں چھپتا نہیں. بیریدہ زینب ہے سورج آج کیوں چھپتا نہیں. وہ مدینہ تھا نبی کا یہ دیار شام ہے. آج قبر مصطفیٰ پر ایک ہجوم عام ہے. کہتی تھی فضا چھینی جاتی ہے زینب کی ردا. کہتی تھی فضا چھینی جاتی ہے زینب کی ردا. یا علی آؤ مدد کرنا تمہارا کام ہے. آج قبر مصطفیٰ پر ایک ہجوم عام ہے. کربلا کے واقعے کو ایک مدت ہو گئی. کربلا کے واقعے کو ایک مدت ہو گئی. سید سجاد کے آنکھوں میں پھر بھی شام ہے. آج قبر مصطفیٰ پر ایک ہجوم عام ہے. زینب مضطر کے ایک دل پر بہت تر داغ ہے. زینب مضطر کی ایک دل پر بہتر داغ ہے. حاضر دربار ہونا موت کا پیغام ہے. آج قبر مصطفیٰ پر ایک ہجوم عام ہے. آ گئی زینب مدینے میں بپا کوہرام ہے. आज कब्र मुस्तफा पर एक हुजूम आम है।
محمد وآل محمد salawat. My elders, Mawlana Sahib, my elders, brothers and sisters, and dear children, Islam. I just got a few announcements to make. On Thursday, inshallah, we'll have Fatiha Kani Majlis for Marhum Ayatullah Fadil Milani. For Mu'mineen, all requested to come so that we can pay our respects to Ayatullah and pray for him, inshallah. Secondly, next Thursday is going to be election for the President of Council of European Jamaats, and you've got two candidates. You've got Brother Arif Ali Hirji and Brother Salim Ramtullah. Brother Arif Ali Hirji has sent his apologies that he can't come, and he has sent us a video especially for SX Jamaat for us to play today. So inshallah we'll play it. And I was talking to Salim Bhai today, and inshallah he's planning to come on Tuesday next week to play table tennis with us. So Mu'mineen are requested to come, and he said that he's going to have informal discussions with whoever is there, and inshallah he will also send his election broadcasts. So can I please request that we play Arif Bhai's video, and then inshallah Sahib come and recite the majlis. Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. My dear Mu'mineen and Mu'minat of Essex Jamaat, I wish this night when we commemorate the Shahadat of Imam Ridha alayhi salam, that I would be close to you, be able to be with you. But due to the schedule of the election, which we tried, I cannot be. But I will try, inshallah, my best to come to Essex even before the election, as well as, inshallah, if we are successful, that inshallah I can come often to you, inshallah. Before going further, you know, this is the Shahadat of the Imam, where the whole 12 verse are one after the lifetime of Imam Ridha alayhi salam. And he said with his beloved words that equip yourselves with the weapons of the Anbiya. So the person asked, what are the weapons of the Anbiya? And he said, well, this is the dua. The dua are the weapons which the Anbiya always have used. You know, my brothers and sisters, I have a question. The question is, we have been here in this country for more than 50 years. And do we have a vision for Europe? A vision for ourselves and our community? Take a moment to think about this. And normally what I hear is a pin drop silence. And the answer is no, that we don't have a vision. We who live here in Europe, in one of the Western continents, and we do not have a clear vision of 20, 30, 40, 50. This is very important from a regional federation that we actually have a vision. Now, brothers and sisters, I don't have time to speak about all the experiences in community which I've dedicated my life to, but in the last 4 years, I have been your servant at the World Federation, being the Secretary General. During that period, I am acutely aware of the intricacies, the challenges, and the landscape which is facing us globally, especially here in Europe. And hence, what I'm going to present going forward here is not based on theory or sentimental feelings, but much more on real facts based on things that has been observed empirically and items which are pledges which we really need and will inshallah deliver. What is Team Fajr? Fajr is a movement which is based on faith. Everything which we do is faith. But then it's action, and action is such that we don't accept status quo, and we've got an extremely dynamic agenda for Europe. Jama'ah is the collective. That means that we are not going to let any Jamaat to stay behind. Everyone has to be together. But not only that, we will have sharing of best practice. You know, in the ecosystem of the European Jamaats, we don't share best practice, we don't share best information, and indeed, sadly enough, we don't know where the talents are, nor do we connect each other. We're not bringing the best of us to the table. And any action which we do, there is rahmah. Rahmah means mercy in every undertaking which we do, inshallah. Let me share with you one of the pillars of our manifesto. It's around education and faith schools. Now, if we look at the United Kingdom as an example, we have several hundred thousands of Iraqis in the country. Yes, hundreds of thousands. Only in Greater London there is more than 100,000. But how many faith schools do we have in this country? Let us count. On one hand, where I've got 5 fingers, let us start. Hujjat Primary, we have got Al-Huy, and then we got a half one, which is Jafri Academy, which is online. Can you imagine hundreds of thousands of Shias and we only have 2.5 faith schools? Is that acceptable? No. And we are indeed 35 to maybe 45 years too late, but let us not be more late than that. And I have, and our team have pledged that we are going to create a strategic planning committee for what to develop a comprehensive, integrated and future-proof educational and faith school strategy. That means the capex in regards to getting the school. That means the opex of running costs, where there's both the amazing teachers as well as the management of schools. How do you create robustness and how do you make it sustainable? That is what we will be doing, and we'll be partnering with each and every school and beyond in every Jamaat to make this vision a reality. Now, why is a school so important? Well, if we are successful, you know, we are bombarded with isms, modernism, humanism, feminism, atheism, and so forth. But we need to do a paradigm shift. Instead of being receiver, the demand center of education, we need to do a paradigm shift and instead own the narrative, so that we are able to know how we can actually combat as well as being able to own our own narrative in this fast-moving world. And our agenda and manifesto is centered a lot around the youth. You see, I really believe that we are failing our youth. Yes. If I say that, you know, we used to have amazing camps which were much bigger and they were visionary. We now, when I speak to any mother or father who've got teenager, either preteen or in the teen years, they're looking for camps during summer. And they're looking for that, and they're all oversubscribed. But not only that, we can do so much more. You know, the needs of an 11 or 12-year-old child is not the same as a 14-year-old. Nor is a 16, 17, and as we go further up the age bracket in 18, 17, 18, 19, we actually have got very little to offer. Now we see other communities, I don't need to mention the names, but the other communities, you know who they are able to actually mobilize, to be able to create a vision, and they are able to make an identity and a holistic approach. This is very much what I would like. And when it comes to pre-bulugh, post-bulugh, when it comes to our girls, our sisters specifically, we would need to look at a holistic approach. Not only that, we also have pledged that we have for those amazing graduates, before they graduate, to create a gap year program. Amazing if we can do a gap year program which is tailor-made and it's got all the dimensions from faith to identity to actually building up character and so much and more. And I know that you all agree and it resonates. But also something which really hurts me is that I don't think that we know even an iota of who is doing what, where. We've got today girls and boys who come out of university, who graduate and they look for work opportunities. Shouldn't we create a pipeline between those who are business owners, those who have got amazing work in the different cities in Europe, and we can then connect them to these amazing talents, regardless of where they graduate from, be that in Paris, Switzerland, Sweden, in northern part of England or south, wherever. And that is our duty. We need to create this, and we have pledged that we will have a professional development desk, yes, where the aim is to make most of our amazing talent pool, inshallah. And you know, I believe in Europe, but we are not looking at Europe as it should be looked upon. We have today 50 million Muslims in Europe across, and that's not even counting Turkey. And that number, 50 million, is from 2022. By 2030, it is expected that we reach 60 million. And by 2040, very well, depending on immigration and other factors, we may reach even 70 million. If I look at the streets of Sweden as an example, 1 in every 11 person is a Muslim on the streets. Can you imagine that? But in that ecosystem, or let me correct myself, do we even have an ecosystem? We need to create an ecosystem where we have inter-Jamaat, an inter-Jamaat communication desk. That means that we share best practices of what's going on. Today, if somebody would like to donate for a capital project which is going on, be that a Kabristan or a kitchen or an Imambara or a Jamaat or a Masajid, any kind of project, do we actually know, for example, someone who lives in Leeds, do they know what capital project going on somewhere else? And vice versa, when the need is there, koine donate karu hoy. Sawarna fajr uthine niyat che ke mane donate karu. Where should I donate? Should I call every Jamaat and their secretary? Can I find it on the website? Can I find the narrative of why, what? No, unfortunately we can't. We have pledged that we will be able to solve this gap, inshallah. And we will then create an ecosystem. And this will be so much more. I'll give you another one. We've got so many talents. I went to the biggest conference in the world. Yes, it's called Karbala. Walking between Najaf and Karbala, imagine if there is one person who falls ill. एक होए कोई बुजुर्ग कांतो नौजवान ताबान अने पोल 107 के 431 मा he falls down. Do we have data on who is there? Do we have connectivity? And we have so much talent who is there, but I didn't see any European or co-age presence there. We have hence pledged 2 things. One is that we will have a recognition system, recognizing on all those amazing volunteers in different fields of arts, in engineering, in literature, in multiple parts where they've excelled, and we need to create that role modelship, so we're going to have a recognition program. Another thing is we're going to have a system of brand ambassadorship. All these mawakib and other initiatives globally which are run by members of our own Jamaat, there should be an awareness. And if somebody wants to volunteer or contribute, there should be a co-age association with it and a brand making and a brand awareness on that. That's what we have also pledged. If I go further, in this continent of Europe, we have seen riots on the street. Do we have any policies to harmonize the situation? Let me go one step further. If the Prime Minister or a government official or someone from the council were to ask, how many of your community have been impacted by hate crime? Do we have the answer? In 2024, do we have anywhere where digitalization is at our fingertips? Do we have anywhere where we can register this? Sadly, we don't. But these are things that we can do with this intercom initiative, inshallah. And you know, I really believe in the talent of our community. Today, we even do not know what kind of papers people produce. What kind of talent do we have in regards to, rather than being those who always react, we need to be able to tap into the talent pool and be able to then deliver. If someone has got an amazing talent within a specific policy writing, social anthropology, something which is specifically governmental related, you know, for us to be a member of certain institution is not enough, but we need to be able to carry our narrative today. And only that, I'll give you one little example. Whenever I travel in Europe in my own work, I meet a lot of community members on the aeroplane. And when we go to Switzerland or we go to any other city, do we know who the resident alim is? If there are any way of being interactive, are we making it easy for each other to connect? We're not. And really, this is something which we can change, inshallah. And also from a medical, healthcare, sport, there's so much more we can do. Instead, where people today, instead of coming to the masajid and the places, they also meet up, for example, in these sport festivals and other parts. But is it only a football or a table tennis ball or a shuttlecock, or is it so much more that we as a community can do when it comes to these events? I'm a huge believer in this, and I'm sure you all share the same sentiments. When it comes to the life expectancy in Europe, you know how much it is? It's 80 years. But our community probably have a slightly lower. The Asian community has much lower, and we are probably in between. However, al-mawtul haqq, death cannot be something can be stopped. By such, I know that there are brothers and sisters who are very much do not know what to do when it comes to end of life. You see, we don't have policies. A Sharia policy, and looking at that as a holistic, do we follow the Liverpool model? Do we follow nil to mouth? Do we follow the khuda na kare ki hame machine hame khali switch off kariye? All these kind of things should be not that we react to, rather that these should be readily available. And we have pledged that inshallah we will deliver such a policy paper. Our manifesto is very expansive, very determined to deliver on multiple fields. And I'm really looking forward to engaging with you and to hear your feedback. One of the things that we have also just pledged to do is, what is a successful family? So we have pledged that we'll have courses and seminars and training courses for pre-marriage as well as those young families, so that we do not only have families that can be prevented from breaking up, but they should prosper, and our children should be the heroes of tomorrow in the era of Imam Ajjallahu Ta'ala Faraju Sharif. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Now, my brothers and sisters, in ending, I'm going to ask you a question again. What is the plan for the next 25 years? Are we willing to just go and meet the future in a supersonic speed and blindly leap out into the future? Blindly. That's the question I have. But I'll give you a taster. The team Fajr will deliver a vision which will be absolutely amazing for a prosperous new dawn here in Europe. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
محمد وآل محمد صلوات. Elections, presidential elections are taking place next Thursday, 12th of September. More are requested to attend. For those who don't know what COEG is, you can talk to any office bearers. We are a member of COEG. COEG is our parent body, 17 European Jamaats, and we are one of them. So we need to shape the vision, so we need to be part of it. So please do come next Thursday. For timings will be, I'll send the timings. It should be before, after, during, and after the program, Shahadat program. So Momina requested to attend. Muhammad wa al Muhammad salawat. Can you please invite the Mawlana to the member with a loud nara salawat? Bar Muhammad wa al Muhammad salawat.
رحم الله من قرأ الفاتحة بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط غير المغضوب عليهم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل نعم المولى ونعم النصير أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وبه نستعين وهو خير ناصر ومعين الحمد لله الذي لا يبلغ مدحته القائلون ولا يحصينا معه العادون ولا يؤدي حقه المجتهدون الذي لا يدركه بعد الهمم ولا يناله غوث الفتن الذي ليس لصفته حد محدود ولا نعت موجود ولا أجل ممدود ثم الصلاة والسلام والتحية والإكرام على النبي الأمي القرشي المدني الهاشمي بالقاسم المصطفى محمد اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المنتخبين المنتجبين أما بعد فقد قال مولانا علي بن موسى الرضا بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم من زارني على بعد دأري أتيته يوم القيامة في 3 مواطن حتى أخلصه من أهوالها إذا تطايرت الكتب يمينا وشمالا وعند الصراط وعند الميزان صلوات على محمد وآل محمد. Respected Mu'mineen, we are commemorating the Shahadat of our 8th Master, our 8th Mawla Ali ibn Musa Ridha alayhi salatu wassalam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And indeed, we all know that the names of Ahlul Bayt itself, they are ocean of understanding and ocean of knowledge. Because the names of Ahlul Bayt and the titles of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, they are not title, they are not names. Those are given by us or by ignorant people. The names and the titles of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, they are granted them by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and who is all knowing. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give a title, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always have reasoning behind it. So when it comes to the title of Imam Ali ibn Musa Ridha, you find that Imam, he had different title. One of the title, which is most famous title, it is Ar-Ridha. The other title, which is also very famous, Alimu Ali Muhammad. He is knowledgeable person among the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. And there is another title which is called Ar-Ra'uf. This Ar-Ra'uf I would like to discuss. I will not be able to discuss all the title, but inshallah the other title we will leave for another session or another occasion. So what is the meaning of Ra'uf? You know, our 9th Imam, Imam al-Jawad alayhi salatu was salam, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. When he makes salam on the Imam, so he recite in that ziyarat, Assalamu ala al-Imam ar-Ra'uf. My salam be upon on an Imam whose quality and whose title is Ar-Ra'uf. And this Ar-Ra'uf you also have read in the Quran. It is a title of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is a quality and characteristics of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And not only that, if you look at the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He talks about and when He speak about the beloved Prophet, what Allah said, وَلَقَدْ جَاءَكُمْ رَسُولٌ مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ, that we have sent a prophet to you, لَقَدْ جَاءَكُمْ رَسُولٌ مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ, and that prophet, he is from yourself, means he is from mankind. Azizun alayhi ma anittum. It is very difficult. Here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning the characteristic and the habit of Rasulullah, that it is very difficult for Rasulullah when you mu'mineen are in pain. Means he was, so sincere and he was so loving to the mu'mineen. And then ayah continue and it says, Harisun alaykum bil mu'minina ra'ufur rahim. This prophet, he is haris, he is greedy for you, means he is greedy for your hidayah, for your guidance. And then bil mu'minina ra'ufun rahim. And this prophet, he is ra'uf and rahim to the mu'minin. He is ra'uf to mu'minin and rahim to mu'minin. Now, what is the meaning of ra'uf? If you look at the dictionary, in dictionary you find the meaning of ra'uf is kind, or ra'afat. The root word is ra'afat. Ra'afat means like rahmat. Rahim, ra'uf. So here, what is the meaning of ra'uf? Ra'uf, in literature scholars, they said the meaning of ra'uf, it is kindness. And when we look at the meaning of rahmat or rahim, you find the same, that it is merciful. So what is the difference in between? Of course, both words, they are very similar, but very thin different in between rahim and the ra'uf. Rahim is also merciful and ra'uf also is merciful. But the difference in between, ra'uf, he is a person who is merciful, but in ra'afat, there is no space for any pain. For example, a person who loves you, he is called ra'uf. But he does not have, any space for you to have any pain in your life. For example, when, mashallah, you all are doctor, and doctor, they are called, they are rahim, they are rahman, they are manifesting, their rahmah when they treat the patient. But when they treat patients, so how do they do? Because they have to show their mercy, their rahmah to the patient. But in this mercy or in this rahmat, sometimes what happens, pain also comes. When doctor find that the patient, he is in need of a operation, he is in need of a cut, he is in need of a something, pain is there when you operate your patient. So this patient has to face some pain or some difficulties, some sadness. However, when you do operation, it's not like you are butcher, you are, you do not have mercy for them, you do not have love for your patient. No, the operation when you are making, it is out of your mercy. So therefore, ulama, they said, when we talk about the mercy, when we talk about rahmah, there is a space for pain. But when it comes to the ra'afat of someone who is ra'uf like Imam Ridha, so there is no even space for any pain. So Imam Ridha, he never ever see, he never ever tolerate a small pain for his lovers. So this is the meaning of or the difference between ra'afat and rahmat, or difference between rahim and the ra'uf. So inshallah, we'll discuss about this ra'uf, how Imam Ridha alayhi salatu salam is ra'uf. If you look at the ulama opinion, for example, Allama Muhammad Hussain Tabatabai, when he discussed this word Ra'uf for Imam Ridha alayhi salam, he said he is Imam Ridha alayhi salam, one of the quality of Imam Ridha, that he is a Ra'uf, he is kind. And which type of kindness? That he never ever tolerate or bear any pain in his lovers. So he is merciful, always, shower his mercy upon his lovers. Now, Allama Muhammad Hussain Tabatabai, he says that all our Imams of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, or all Ahlul Bayt, they are merciful. There is no doubt about it. But why this title is given to Imam Ridha alayhi salatu wasalam? So Allama Muhammad Hussain Tabatabai, he says, it is because of the condition of the Imam Ridha. However, Imam Ali, he is Ra'uf also. Imam al-Hussein, he is Ra'uf. Imam al-Hassan, all our Imam, they are Ra'uf, they are kind. But other Aimma, a part of Imam Ridha, they could not have opportunity to express and to present their ra'afat, their kindness, the way Imam Ridha alayhi salam was able to, express and reveal his quality of the ra'afat and kindness. Because Imam Ridha alayhi salam, he was the Waliul Ahad, Prime Minister for the Khurasan. So that is why his doors were open for his Shias. So Shias now and then, they used to come to Imam and used to receive mercy from the Imam. But in comparison with the Imam Ridha, the other Imams of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, many of them, they were in prison. Some of them, they were under the pressure of the government, under the surveillance of their rulers. So that is why other Aimma, they could not manifest ra'afat or kindness the way Imam Ridha alayhi salatu salam have presented. Recite Allah salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Now, when it comes to the ra'afat itself, ra'afat, according to Allah Muhammad Tabatabai, as I told you, that Imam Ridha, he has a special mercy, special kindness, where there is no space for any pain. This is the interpretation of Allama Muhammad Tabatabai. But there is another beautiful interpretation from Ayatullah Wahid al-Khurasani. Wahid al-Khurasani, you all know that he's one of the great marja. So he says that the way, he interpreted the ra'afat of Imam Ridha. He says, because all the Imams of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, they are manifestation for the qualities of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And one of the quality of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that he is Ra'uf. And Imam Ridha, on the surface of earth, he is manifestation and he is a station of mercy and kindness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then he explained, he says, the way mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is divided into two. One type of mercy which is hidden in Ar-Rahman. The other type of mercy is hidden in the Sifa Ar-Rahim. We recite Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, that Allah is merciful, most beneficent. This is our translation. But if you look at the wording, they are both of them, they are same. Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim, both of them, they are derived from the word which is called Ar-Rahman, merciful. So what is the difference in between Ar-Rahman and Rahim? Ar-Rahman, Rahmanun fid dunya. This is one of the interpretations, that he is Rahman, merciful in the dunya. Wa Rahimun fil akhirah, he is merciful in the hereafter. This is one interpretation. The other interpretation of Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim, the difference between Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim, they say, ulama, they said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he is merciful. His mercy is general mercy. Anyone, no one, no problem, you have faith in Allah, no problem, you worship Allah or you do not worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the Rahmaniya, or the mercy which is hidden in the Ar-Rahman, it will cover you. No, it does not need any condition or any requirement. But the mercy which is hidden in Ar-Rahim, it is a specific mercy which is dedicated by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for those who are believers. Over here also, Ayatollah Wahid Khurasani, he says, when it comes to the Ra'afat or Ra'uf, being Ra'uf of Imam Ridha alayhi salatu salam, Imam Ridha, he is Ra'uf. He said the Ra'afat of Imam Ridha is also divided into two. One Ra'afat of Imam Ridha, it is a general Ra'afat. And because Imam Ridha, he is kind to everyone. He does not care he follow us or he does not follow us. Imam shower his mercy, Imam express his kindness, and he gives his mercy to him and kindness to him. For example, when we look at the history, you see that one of the title of Imam Ridha, that he is a Dhamine Ahu. What is the meaning of Dhamine Ahu? Anyone know? Dhamine Ahu, Imam Ridha, actually, he was merciful on an animal, on a deer, which was caught by a prey. So Imam Ridha alayhi salatu wasalam, he gave the guarantee for it. And this story, it is a very famous story. So it means Imam Ridha mercy, it is not specified with mu'minin only. So this general ra'afat, this general kindness of Imam Ridha reaches even to the animal. Once upon a time, in the time of Imam Ridha, Ma'mun Rashid comes because he had many wives. And he said, yeah, Imam Ridha, that Fulan of my wife, she is not getting pregnant and she did not have any, doesn't have any child. So can you please pray for her? Can you please pray for us to have a child? Imam Ridha alayhi salatu wasalam, he says, Satalidu insha'Allah. I'll make dua that in this year your wife, that particular wife, is going to be pregnant. And narration says in the same year she got pregnant, and when the child is born, he comes to Imam and he pays thanks. However, Ma'mun Rashid, he is the enemy of the Imam Ridha. And he know that he is going to be the murderer for me. But still, Imam Ridha kindness, it is general kindness. It reaches to even his own enemy. So this is called the general ra'afat, general kindness of the Imam Ridha. But there is another type of the kindness of the Imam Ridha, or the ra'afat of the Imam Ridha, because Imam Ridha, he is a ra'uf, and which is called a special ra'afat of Imam Ridha, which only reach to those who have faith and iman in Imam Ridha alayhi salam. Over here, Ayatollah Wahid Khurasani, he gave a beautiful example. He says that he had a teacher whose name is Ayatollah Mirza Habib Gulpaigani. Ayatollah Mirza Habibullah Gulpaigani. So he says, I studied from him a lot. 20 years I was a student for him, and he was a righteous person. And he was, fond of the Imam Ridha alayhi salatu wasalam. 20 years, more than 20 years, he prayed, he led namaz jama'at in Masjid al-Gawhar Shad. Masjid Gawhar Shad, it is the biggest mosque in the Mashhad of Imam Ridha. And this masjid, it is very next to the haram of Imam Ridha. However, haram of Imam Ridha, I mean next to the Darih of Imam Ridha. And now it is a part of the haram of Imam Ridha. So Ayatollah Gulpaigani, Habibullah Gulpaigani, he used to pray all the namaz and used to lead the namaz jamaat for many, many years, for decades in Mashhad of Imam Ridha. And he said, and also historian, they have written, he was so pious, man. Whole night he is standing for the namaz. All days, a part of the haram fasting, he used to keep fast throughout the year. And Ayatollah Wahid Khurasani, he says, I have noticed my teacher for 40 years, because in those days, what happened, nowadays if you go to Iran and you visit the Imam Ridha Haram, so you find that it is open for 24 hours, 24/7 it is open. But in past, they used to close it at night time. So they say that Ayatollah Habibullah Gulpaigani, every day, he used to go to the haram of Imam Ridha to offer his Salatul Tahajjud at midnight. He used to spread his musalla before the door of the Imam Ridha. And the first person after opening the door of Imam Ridha or the haram of Imam Ridha, he used to be the first person who is entering in the haram of Imam Ridha. So Ayatollah Wahidi says, once upon a time, what happened? He got sick. And he was great, he was Waliullah actually. Ayatollah Wahid, he says that my teacher, his hand was elixir. His hand had miracle in it. Anything or any mariz is touched with the hand of Ayatollah Habibullah, he used to get shafa. It was like miracle. It was in his right hand. So he said, what happened actually? Once upon a time, he says, my teacher, he narrate to me. He said, once upon a time, Ayatollah Habibullah Gul Paigani, he got sick, and the disease was chronic. So many doctors, they tried their level best, and it was not cure. And then finally, what happened? He says, I went to the haram of Imam Ridha, Mashhad al-Muqaddas, and I said to Imam Ridha, and he said, I was just sitting in my room. I said to Imam, yeah, Imam, what I could do, yeah, Imam Ridha, I have done. I prayed 40 years in front of your door, and I was the first Zair of you for 40 years. Yeah, Imam, this is, what I could do. Now it is your turn. You give me something. So he said, the moment I said this thing to Imam al-Ridha, look at the ra'afat of the Imam al-Ridha. Look at the, how Imam alayhi salam is kind, and how, because the Imam al-Ridha, ra'afat or the rahmat, Ayatollah Wahid al-Khurasani, he said, it is tangible. You can feel it when you go to the haram of Imam. He said, when Ayatollah Habibullah Gul Paigani, he said this thing, this sentence to Imam, he said, out of sudden, the condition of my room is changed. He said, I observe and I see that whole of my room, it become a beautiful garden. It's like I'm sitting in the garden. All around there are flowers. He said there was a big, bunch of the flower, and Imam al-Ridha, he is in middle of those flowers. He said, when I looked at the Imam, so Imam is smiling, and he called me and he indicated me, come to me, O Habibullah. So he said, I went to the Imam. What Imam does? He said, Imam pick up a flower, and he raises his hand, and he it's like indicating to me to take it and receive it. He said, I went to Imam, and I received that flower from my right hand. He said, the moment I receive flower, my room condition changes and come back to normal. He said, and there's nothing. He said, I did not know what Imam alayhi salam has done to me. I didn't know that what Imam has given to me. He said, I could not realize. He said, after a while, because he said, I had chronic disease, all of my body was paining, each and every part of my body is paining. He said, out of sudden, I put my hand on my head. He said, my head was paining, and I had very severe headache. He said, when I put my right hand on my head, out of sudden, I realized that the pain is gone. He said, then I, put my right hand on my other parts of body. He said, the pain is going. He said, the first person who realized that my hand become elixir, or my hand become, miracle, so it was me myself. He said, after that, whenever I put this hand on a person head, so that person, he get cured from any disease, whatever he had. So this is the rafat of the Imam Ridha. Imam Ridha, when we go, and really, me also and ulama, they said they have, felt it. They felt, when they feel that the Imam Ridha is Ra'uf. And I remember once upon a time, when I used to be in Mashhad, because I lived over there for a study purpose. So one day my teacher, he had some misunderstanding in regard of myself. So he scolded me very badly. And what happened, and I had no mistake, and the mistake was not from myself, but he was misunderstood. So what I did, I just went to the haram of Imam Ridha, and I did not complain about him, but my heart was weeping. I have, complaining heart. I took this heart, which is complaining, to the haram of Imam Ridha. In the evening, my teacher, he called me, can you come to my house? And he started, excusing and saying, sorry to me. This is how Imam Ridha is so merciful. And that is why we have a narration, and it is reported from the Imam Ridha. He said, Manzarani, the riwayah or the hadith which I have quoted in the khutbah. Imam, he himself said, Manzarani ala bu'd dari ataytuhu yawm al-qiyamati fi thalath mawatin. Anyone who come from far away to visit my grave, I will visit him at 3 occasions. And those are very critical occasions. Imam said, حتى أخلصه من أهوالها. And when I reach and when I visit you on those 3 occasions, I will get you out, or I will get you rid or protect you from the difficulty of that event. Number 1, إذا تطاير الكتب يمينا وشمالا. On the day of judgment, when records are distributed, because on the day of judgment, mu'mineen, they will receive their records in their right hand, and those who are kuffar, those who are disbeliever, or those who are rebellious to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they will receive in their left hand, their records. So Imam said, on the day of judgment, when people were receiving their records in their right hand and left hand, at that moment I will come to my visitor to visit him. This is number 1. Number 2, وَعِنْدَ الصِّرَاطِ. And at the time of Sirat, because Sirat, it is a very difficult moment. Each and every person has to go through the Sirat. No matter how big mu'min you are, you have to pass through the Sirat. And then Imam said, وَعِنْدَ الْمِيزَانِ. At the time of evaluation, when your records, when your deeds are evaluated, at that time I will be there, and I will give you protection from the evil of that event. So this is how Imam Ridha alayhi salam is merciful. There is a man. You may have heard this name from me even before, Sheikh Abdul Karim Al-Ha'iri. Sheikh Abdul Karim Al-Ha'iri, he was the founder of Hawza of Qum. The Hawza that we have in Qum, Sheikh Abdul Karim, he is the founder of the Hawza. He has a son whose name is Sheikh Murtada Al-Ha'iri. Sheikh Murtada Al-Ha'iri, he narrated, and he was a very pious person. They say, he himself says, that I have visited the Mashhad al-Muqaddas, the city of Imam Ridha, for the purpose of ziyarat of Imam Ali ibn Musa Ridha 70 times in my life. He's not talking about the ziyarat. He's talking only the visit of the Mashhad city, from Qum to Mashhad. He said, I visited the Mashhad al-Muqaddas 70 times. Ziyarat, maybe every visit, maybe 10 ziyarah or the 15 ziyarah. They don't count these things. He said 70 times I went to Mashhad and then come back to the Qum. He said, in my life. He said, when it was 70th time, and I was in the Mashhad of Imam Ridha, he said, in dream, I had Imam Ridha alayhi salam. And Imam Ridha is telling me that Sheikh Murtaza, mashallah, you have done so many ziyarat. Now it is our term to visit you. He said, he comes back, and Imam Ridha told him that you don't have to come anymore to our ziyarah. So he realized the wordings of the Imam. He comes, and one of his friends, he said, let's go to visit the grave of the Imam Ridha. He said, no, my Imam told me that he will come to visit me. And it is my last year of my life. It is the last year of my life. So I'm not going to survive anymore, because my Imam told me that he's going to come and visit me. And they say that Sheikh Abdul Karim Ha'iri, Sheikh Murtaza Ha'iri, he passed away in the same year. And after a while, he comes in the dream of one of his friends. He asked Sheikh Murtaza Ha'iri, that how is your condition? He said, Alhamdulillah, I'm very well, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given me a great reward against my good deed. And what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave me, it is out of my imagination. Then this fellow asks Sheikh Murtaza al-Ha'iri that, do you wish to come back to dunya? Sheikh Murtaza Ha'iri, he said, yes, I really wish to come back to dunya. He said, but you said you are in good condition. You have a good place where you are living. He said, yes, my place is very good, but I want to come back to dunya to do the ziyarat of Imam Ali ibn Musa Ridha alayhi salatu wasalam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. And then he explained, he said, what is the reason? He said, the ziyarat that I have done in my lifetime, against every ziyarah, Imam Ridha alayhi salam visited me thrice in hereafter. Allahu Akbar. So these are the Imam Ridha, he is a Ra'uf. There is a man, from Balkh. Balkh, actually, it is a city. So a person comes from the Balkh to visit the Haram of Imam Ridha, and he had his slave with him. Sheikh Saduqi has mentioned this, narration in his book. When this man comes to the Haram of Imam Ridha, so he enter, both of them, they enter in the under the tomb, and both of them they perform sajda. So when this slave was doing sajda, he made dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What he said, Ya Allah, it is my wish, Ya Allah, free me. I'm very tired from being slave. And Ya Allah, Ya Imam Ridha, grant me also, I want to get married. Once you free me, then I have to get married. So my second hajat it is that I should get married. And he said, Ya Imam Ridha, my third hajat from you to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is to give me a small and reasonable accommodation or reasonable source of income. He said, I made this dua. And his Mawla, his master, is just before him. And he's also making dua in his sajda. When they finished their ziyarah, the master, he said to his slave that it has come in my mind to free you in the way of Imam Ridha alayhi salam. And not only that, I have another kanis which is at home, and I want to free her also and marry her with you. And then I had intention that the Fulan garden which I have to give you for you to run your life. So then this slave started crying before his Mawla or before his master. He said, why you are crying? You should be happy because I freed you in the way of Allah, and I had this intention to marry you. So you got everything, still you are crying? He said, no, I'm not crying on this. Actually, I'm crying that these are only 3 du'as which I made in sajda, and I try to make the tawassul to the Imam Ridha. How Imam Ridha is Ra'uf. So the Imam Ridha actually, his ra'afat, his mercy is very tangible. And that is why, Ma'mun al-Rashid, he was not able to, tolerate the love of people which they had toward the Imam al-Ridha. Every now and then, Imam al-Ridha alayhi salam is looking at them. There is a man whose name is Harthama ibn Ayun. Harthama ibn Ayun, he narrates that once upon a time, near the Shahadat of Imam Ridha alayhi salatu salam, his khadim comes at my door at midnight, and he is knocking the door. When I opened the door, I found that he is the khadim of Imam Ridha. I said, why you are here? He said, Imam Ridha is calling you right now. So at midnight, Harthama ibn Ayun comes to the house of Imam Ridha alayhi salam. Imam Ridha told him that my shahadat, my martyrdom, I have very less time. I'm about to depart. I'm about to, respond the call of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Ma'mun, he has planned to kill me. Ma'mun has planned to slaughter me. He has planned to give me the poison. And Harthama, remember when I passed away from this dunya, remember no one can give ghusl to my janaza except the Imam of the time, and which is my son Imam al-Jawad alayhi salam. And Imam said, when my janaza it kept in white tent, you should not let anyone enter to there until my janaza is washed and kafan and it is shrouded. So these wasiyat, Imam alayhi salatu wasalam, he made to Harthama ibn Ayun. And then Imam said, Harthama, remember and tell to the Ma'mun Rashid after my shahadat that he should not try to bury me in the back of his father Harun Rashid. He will try, but the grave is not going to be dug up. So what will happen? The grave which is already there before the grave of Harun Rashid, or in front of the grave of Harun Rashid, when you put and when you try to dig over there, you will find the grave is already there. And when you find that there is a grave, you find the water is there in that grave, and the fishes are swimming. But when it is a time of dafn, when it is a time of burial, so you will see the water will go itself. So all these things, you know what Imam Ridha alayhi salam said in advance, came into true. And then when it is a time when Ma'mun al-Rashid, he called Imam al-Rida, and when Imam al-Rida is going toward the palace of the Ma'mun al-Rashid, in between he find his khadim, whose name is Khaja Abassal. Khaja Abassal, when he look at the Imam face, that Imam face is totally changed. He asked from the Imam, "Ya Imam, what is about to happen?" Imam al-Rida alayhi salam said to Abassal, Abassal, um, um, Ma'mun, he has decided to kill me, and he has decided to give me the poison. Abassal, when I come back from the Ma'mun al-Rashid, and if you see that there is a cloth on my mouth, or there is a handkerchief I kept on my mouth, do not try to speak with me, because the zahar or the poison is already given to me, because I will not be able to speak. My liver is cut down, or my liver is cut into pieces, and they are coming into my mouth. So please do not speak me until I go in my house, and then you will listen the tasbih. As long as you are able to listen the tasbih, think that I am alive. And once you know that the tasbih voice is shut down, just remember that I have departed from this dunya, and remember no one should come in the house, because my son Imam al-Jawad is going to come and give me the ghusl and kafan. Narration says Imam al-Rida alayhi salam, he goes to Ma'mun al-Rashid, and he comes back from there. Abbas Salt, when he looked at the face of Imam, he found that Imam, he kept his hand on his mouth, and with indication, Imam said, "Do not speak with me, let me go and enter into my house." So Abbas Salt al-Harawi, he narrate that Imam Ridha alayhi salam, he went into house, and all the door were closed, because Imam has given me the instruction to close all the doors. And then out of sudden I found that there is someone inside door. When I opened the door, I found that there is a ghulam, there is a youth who is a beautiful youth. I asked him, "Who you are?" He said, "My father has passed away. I have come from the Medina. My name is Imam Muhammad al-Taqi. I'm here to give the kafan and ghusl and kafan to my father." And narration says, at that moment when Imam al-Rida did all the wasiyah, so Imam al-Raza, he said to Imam al-Jawad, "Oh my son Jawad, can you please place my body on the earth, on can you remove my body from the bistar, from the bed, and keep it on the floor?" Imam al-Rada alayhi salatu salam his body was kept on the floor. So Imam al-Jawad asked from his father, "Oh father, why did you ask me to keep your body on the floor?" Imam al-Rada alayhi salam, he said, "I want to remember my grandfather Aba Abdullah al-Hussein, because his body, it was lying on the plain of Karbala without the shroud and without the ghusl." And Sayyid al-Sajjad, Imam Zainul Abidin, face color is changed. When Sayyida Zainab, she asked, "Oh Ma'li ara tajudo benafsik, oh my niece, my nephew, what is happening to you?" Imam Sayyid al-Sajjad respond to Bibi Zainab, "Oh Auntie Zainab, you understand, if there is a son who is Jawan, who is youth, and his father dead body is lying on the plain of Karbala, but this youth is not able to help and support and give ghusl and kafan to his father. وَسَيَعْلَمُ الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا أَيَّ مُنْقَلَبٍ يَنْقَلِبُونَ إِنَّا لِلَّهِ وَإِنَّا إِلَيْهِ رَاجِعُونَ." ماتم يا حسين.
Ya Hussein.
ہائے سادات نے اس دہر میں کیا کیا دیکھا، ہائے سادات نے اس دہر میں کیا کیا دیکھا، ہائے سادات نے اس دہر میں کیا کیا، ہائے سادات نے اس دہر میں کیا کیا دیکھا، اپنی آنکھوں کو صدا خون ہی روتا دیکھا، ہائے سادات نے اس دہر میں کیا کیا دیکھا، ہائے سادات نے وہ تقی ہوں کہ نقی منہ سے قاظم یا رضا، وہ تقی ہوں کہ نقی منہ سے قاظم یا رضا، سختیاں قید کی اور سحر کا پیاسا دیکھا، ہائے نے اس دہر میں کیا کیا دیکھا، ہائے سادات نے اس دہر میں کیا کیا، جس گھرانے نے صدا لوگوں کو خوشیاں بانٹی، جس گھرانے نے صدا لوگوں کو خوشیاں بانٹی، ان کو خوشیاں نہ ملی غم ہی زیادہ دیکھا، ہائے سادات نے اس دہر میں کیا کیا دیکھا، ہائے سادات نے اس دہر میں کیا، سبز گنبد کے قریب مرقد زہرا ہے مگر، سبز گنبد کے قریب مرقد زہرا ہے مگر، اپنے بیٹی کی تربت پہ نہ سایہ دیکھا، ہائے سادات نے اس دہر میں کیا کیا دیکھا، ہائے سادات نے اس دہر میں کیا کیا دیکھا، پشت پہ جس کو بٹھاتے تھے رسول اکرم، پشت پہ جس کو بٹھاتے تھے رسول اکرم، اس نواسے ہی کا سر بر سر نیزہ دیکھا، ہائے سادات نے اس دہر میں کیا کیا، ہائے سادات نے اس دہر میں کیا، گر گئی خاک پہ غش کھا کے علی کی بیٹی، گر گئی خاک پہ غش کھا کے علی کی بیٹی، پوچھا سغرا نے کہ پردیس میں کیا کیا دیکھا، ہائے سادات نے اس دہر میں کیا کیا دیکھا، ہائے سادات نے اس دہر میں کیا، وہ تقی ہوں کہ نقی منہ سے قاظم یا رضا، وہ تقی ہوں کہ نقی منہ سے قاظم یا رضا، سختیاں قید کی اور سحر کا پیاسا دیکھا، ہائے سادات نے اس دہر میں کیا کیا دیکھا، ہائے سادات نے اس دہر میں کیا کیا دیکھا، ہائے سادات نے اس دہر میں کیا کیا دیکھا، اپنی آنکھوں کو صدا خون نہیں روتا دیکھا، ہائے سادات نے اس دہر میں کیا کیا دیکھا، ہائے سادات نے اس دہر میں کیا کیا دیکھا، یا حسین 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 یا حسین، اللہم صلی علی محمد۔ بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم، ان اللہ وملائکتہ یصلون علی النبی یا ایہا الذین آمنوا صلوا علیہ وسلموا تسلیما، صلی اللہ علیک یا رسول اللہ، السلام علیک یا ابا القاسم یا محمد ابن عبد اللہ ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ، السلام علیک یا وصی رسول رب العالمین، السلام علیک یا سید الوصیین و امام المتقین و امیر المؤمنین علی ابن ابی طالب ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ، السلام علیک یا قرۃ عین الرسول و زوجۃ امیر المؤمنین و ام الائمہ یا فاطمۃ الزہراء سیدۃ نساء العالمین ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ، السلام علیک یا خدیجۃ الکبریٰ ام المؤمنین والمؤمنات ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ، السلام علیک یا ابا محمد حسن بن علی ایہا المجتبی ابن رسول اللہ ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ، السلام علیک یا ابا عبد اللہ وعلی الارواح التي حلت بفنائک، علیک منی سلام اللہ ابدا ما بقیت وبقی اللیل والنہار ولا جعلہ اللہ آخر العہد منی لزیارتکم، السلام علی الحسین وعلی علی ابن الحسین وعلی اولاد الحسین وعلی اصحاب الحسین، ولعن اللہ امة قتلتک ولعن اللہ امة ظلمتک ولعن اللہ امة سمعت بذلک فرضیت بہ، حضور سیدی و مولاي علی ابن موسى الرضا نیابت امام زمانہ و جمیع المؤمنین والمؤمنات الاحیاء منهم والاموات قربة الى اللہ تعالی، السلام علیک یا ولی اللہ، السلام علیک یا حجت اللہ، السلام علیک یا نور اللہ فی ظلمات الارض، السلام علیک یا عمود الدین، السلام علیک یا وارث آدم صفت اللہ، السلام علیک یا وارث نوح نبی اللہ، السلام علیک یا وارث ابراہیم خلیل اللہ، السلام علیک یا وارث اسماعیل ذبیح اللہ، السلام علیک یا وارث موسیٰ کلیم اللہ، السلام علیک یا وارث عیسیٰ روح اللہ، السلام علیک یا محمد الرسول اللہ صلی اللہ علیہ وآلہ، السلام علیک یا وارث امیر المؤمنین علی ولی اللہ و وصی رسول رب العالمین، السلام علیک یا وارث فاطمۃ الزہراء، السلام علیک یا وارث الحسن والحسین سیدی شباب اہل الجنہ، السلام علیک یا وارث علی ابن الحسین زین العابدین، السلام علیک یا وارث محمد ابن علی الباقر علم الاولین والآخرین، السلام علیک یا وارث جعفر ابن محمد الصادق البار، السلام علیک یا وارث موسیٰ ابن جعفر، السلام علیک ایہا الصدیق الشہید، السلام علیک ایہا الوصی البار التقی، اشہد انک قد اقمت الصلاة وآتیت الزکاة وامرت بالمعروف ونہیت عن المنکر وعبدت اللہ مخلصا حتی اتاک الیقین، السلام علیک یا ابا الحسن یا علی ابن موسیٰ الرضا، سیدی ارزقنا فی الدنیا زیارتک وفی الآخرت شفاعتک، السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ. السلام علیک یا بقیۃ اللہ فی الارض یا مولانا یا صاحب العصر والزمان. الامان 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 من فتن آخر الزمان. عجل اللہ تعالی فرجک وسهل الله تعالى مخرجك وظهورك وجعل الله من أنصارك وعوانك وشيتك ومحبيك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم قل وليك حجة الحسن صلواتك عليه ولا بهي في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا ناصرا ودليلا معينا حتى تسكنه زكاة ووليه فيها طويلا.